Okay, so in this video we'll be creating this UI dial in Blender. As you can see, just a quick overview. It's just nothing too complicated, just a little scroll wheel and simple model wheel. So let's get started. Let's jump straight in the general scene. So I'm gonna leave the sun in there and just get rid of that cube for now. Alright. And what we're going to do is add a mesh. I'm going to choose a torus. The torus, and now what I want to do is rotate this. So I'm going to go to the side view here. Rotate this 90 degrees, so standing up. If I look at it from the front view and go into edit mode, I want to select the edges. And what I want to do is Alt, Edge Shift, select the loop. So of each loop. But I want to select every second one. So I'm going to just hold Alt Shift, select each second one. Also each, miss one, skip one. Take your time. Hold Alt Shift. Just make your selections. I'm sure there's a quicker way of doing it. But this is the way I'm doing it today. Our techniques evolve every day as we learn. Sometimes we have to do laborious stuff. Anyway, hit S to scale out. Boom. And we've got these nice ridges. If you did want more ridges, more of these like bumps, then you'd have to add more topology in there, and then but this will do. This will do nicely. Okay. And what I want to do is actually, while they're selected, right click, I'm going to say bevel edge. There we go. So now they're not as spiky, and we could just add a segment, maybe 3, and then we just make it a bit more rounded. There we go. It looks like almost like a flower or a cookie cutter. I don't know. Anyway, what we're going to do is apply a modifier. Let's say add a subdivision. Let's set that to 2. You can see we get this nice, really nice smooth thing. Or just a shade smooth, shade auto smooth. Right click, shade auto smooth. We've got the outer ring. Now the inner ring. It is really straightforward, and it's a short video, but yeah. We're going to use a cylinder. Now we can increase that tessellation, so the vertices to like 64. Or you can leave it at 32 if you want it really low poly. I'm going to go to the side view again, rotate this 90 degrees. If you just want to put in the values yourself, if I pop out the side menu and look at the item here, I can set this here in the rotation, just type in 90 degrees, there you go. Now I can scale this in. And this is the inner wheel. Okay. Maybe now what we want to do is go into edit mode. Select the 2 faces. The outer faces, not the so we want the big circles basically. And what we want to do is say inset face and drag this in. And we drag it in again. And we're going to drag it in one more time right in the middle. There we go. If you hit S as well, you can just scale that in a tiny bit if you want. Make it slightly different from the previous version I did, but yeah. If at any point you wanted to add an edge loop in there, for example, you wanted to add more detail, you can go in here and add edge loops like this. Something like that. It's entirely up to you. You could even just do 1/2 mirror it, so that you could. Right now, I just kind of guess. So let's add some extrusions in here. So what I'm going to do is select faces, Alt Shift. So Alt, click the next face next to it, and I'll repeat this on this one. And I'll do the same on this side. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. I'm going to say extrude along normals, and rather than going inwards, we want to go outwards, we want to go inwards, like so, as you can see. And that looks nice. Now, perhaps I want to let's add some more detail to this. So let's take this in a circle here, and we're going to extrude it along. normals, and we're going to drag this out. There we go. And maybe we can do one more. So we can do inset offset, and then do another inset offset, and then let's do one more inset offset. There we go. And then extrude along normals again. Pop this out, and then with this loop selected here, I'll select this loop, and I'll do again on this side, and I'll bring this in. I just added a few more grooves than the original one I showed you at the start. But yeah, you can design this however you like. It can be as complicated or simple as you want. You could have one cut, no cuts, just a cylinder. Yeah, but yeah, you don't need to follow along. Anyway, what we're gonna do is add a bevel modifier to this. There we go. And then all I'm gonna do is right click, shade to auto smooth, and it looks pretty good. There we go. So next step, we want to add the, the little base for the wheel to sit in, and then the ground plane. Pretty straightforward as well. A cylinder. So I'm going to add a mesh cylinder. Look at it from above. So we can click on our Z-axis up here, so we can see it from above. And I'm going to press S to scale it down a tiny bit. There we go. Something like this, I'm happy with. If I turn on like X-ray model, toggle X-ray mode on up here, and we're going to edit mode, we're going to choose vertices. Now I want to choose the top half of this cylinder and drag this out. So we're going to leave this intact. So we're going to leave this exactly in the center, but we're going to choose the other half and then drop this down too. So now we have like a frame that it sits in. When you look at it from the side, you can see here, we'll just take X-ray mode off. You can see what we've kind of created. If you do want it slightly bigger, you can make it slightly bigger, just scale it up. And then look at it from above. You might want to correct the proportions, or you can scale it in like this. There you go. Okay, once you're happy with that, let's bring down the height here on the Z. And I'm going to apply a modifier again, a bevel modifier, and add segments 3. You don't need to, you don't want to. I just want to, just round. I don't want sharp edges. And I'll just shade auto smooth. We're going to go to edit mode for a second. We're going to choose that top face, select that top face. We're going to inset the face, like so. And then all we're going to do is extrude region and drop down. So we have a little dip, okay? And that's it. That's all we need to do. If you want to add more detail, say you wanted to add a loop cut here, some grooves, you can. You can go to edit mode. I'm just being extra now. So I could say maybe get a loop cut here. And if I right click this, say bevel edge, go. And I'll just reduce the segments. There. And now we can say extrude along normals and bring this in. If you want it in, or you can bring it out. Right, let's bring it in. There we go. It's up to you. Entirely up to you the design you go with anyway. And you can scale this, come around with this, and maybe I want the wheel to stick this out, wheel to stick out. Like so. You get the idea. No, don't be restricted to what I'm showing you, make whatever you like. Okay, so add a plane mesh and scale this up. So because we don't need to see the bottom half. If you do want, you can just go delete the bottom half of the mesh. I would say you can just go in here, go to the side view here, select those faces. I'll go in here and just say, I don't actually need to see them. Boom. Could delete it. But if you're animating this and you wanted it to rotate, I highly suggest you leave them in there. So yeah, it's up to you really. Like for example, if you want to rotate, you want to keyframe this, rotating, then of course you don't want to chop it in half. If it's a static model, it's just a graphic element, but it's not a high volume mesh, so it doesn't matter too much. Anyway, let's go. So we've got our scene set up. Let's set up our EV settings. I'm just gonna click here. So I left the light. You can see we've got the sunlight in here, which is cool. I'm just gonna turn scene mode on and then choose this like little bedroom scene and bring this strength down. So you know, kind of looks cool. Under the oh, no, it's fine. Under our EV settings, let's turn on ambient occlusion. Now you can play around with these settings. You can set them to like 1.5, or 1, or 8, or 12, depending on what you want, the look you want. You know, how much you want of it. 1's fine for me for this one. I'm going to check bloom, because we want bloom. If you want screen space reflections, if you're making this glossy, then you can turn that on. I'll just leave it as it is there. Let's put some materials on now. Okay, so first material. Click here, new. You can rename these if you want. You know, I'll just go plastic, whatever you want. And then where it's roughness, if I bring this down, you can see how glossy I can make it, how rough the surface is. When it's slightly rough, but a little bit of gloss. There we go. So it's kind of matted, a matted thing. And I want to apply noise to the normal. So if I click on normal and say bump, then under bump here, if I open up bump under height, I'm going to find noise. So if we scroll up, noise texture, boom, and we've got noise texture. So I'm just doing everything here in this dial box. However, you can do it in the shading, like I said. You don't need to. There's so many ways you can use Blender, you know. You can do it through the shading. So the same way we add, you can see it automatically adds it here as well in the visual. But you can do it here as well without having to change windows. Anyway, what I was going to say. What was I saying? I'll just adjust this to look similar to our current render scene. Anyway, the details, you can increase that if you want. Roughness, I want it for rough, so you can see I've got all these little bumps. But I want to bring that strength down, like so. Then I'll scroll up here, and you can play around with the specular, how much specular you want. And the roughness, like I said, how much. So maybe I'll lower it a little bit. There we go. The strength is a bit too much, so I want to bring that strength down again. Let me go back to that shading. Just bring that strength down. There we go. Be a little bit more. Let's reduce it even more. So rather than, I can just bring the strength down here. You can see. There we go. That looks nice to me. It depends on what you're looking for, what you're trying to achieve. Okay, and I want to apply this same material to the ground. There we go. Okay. So now the inner ring that we created, we can create another new material. Now you can make this whatever color you want. I went with just a simple grayish black. Like a trying to get a gunmetal look, so I want it more metallic. Got the metallic up. You can make it glossy, less glossy. Here, and I applied the same material, which would be this. And we made a third material for this. So I'm gonna press plus, new, and then if I go to emission, I'm gonna choose like, you can choose whatever color you want. I want with like an orange, and I'll just bump this up to, I don't know, for 25 for now. And I want to assign it to the face of the inside of this. So what I'm going to do is go into edit mode and select this face. I want to select this inner face. So you can see it's selected here. It's hard to show you, but yeah, it's selected. There you go. And with the material selected, I say material 2, and I'm going to assign this material. Okay, there we go. And then we've got nice emission coming through. If you look at it from above, you get this emission. Now my wheel is pretty big looking at it from above, but it's a completely different look from the first version. But yeah, I can maybe scale the top and the bottom out. If I hit tab, go into X-ray mode, let's just I can adjust these vertices, just drag them in and out. And if I want more on the sides, of course, like you can reveal slight cut in the side if you want. There you go. It's looking good. Now, I'm going to right click and do a vertical split. And what I like to do is like we're going to use the camera. So if I hit 0, we have a camera already, the default camera in here. I press N, home. That just frames the camera. I like to toggle off the overlays and the gizmos on this window. If I click on the camera itself, this is the default camera that was in the scene. You know, I can go in here. I'm looking for viewport display, passport out to 0. If I press N, go to view and lock the camera to view. So now I can move this camera here and it'll lock it. You can see it moving in this window. There you go. Now you can render it off or light it or continue to work on it. Entirely up to you. Say for example you wanted this, maybe we want to change this so it's like we have the glow as well running through on the inner side of the wheel. We can do that too. So let's jump to that wheel. Let's add that. So I'm gonna hit tab, come out of X-ray mode on this. Select the faces. I want to say select this loop here. Let's select this nice big loop here. I don't know how this will turn out. Might turn out terrible. And all I'm going to do is press plus and then drop down, select the material 2, which would be the same glow, and assign it. There you go. That might be too powerful, but yeah, it looks cool though. You can always change the strength of the emission here. You can change the colors. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the same colors that I'm using. You can do whatever color you like. You can even animate these. Anyway, like I said, there we go. So we've got a cool little UI window widget. Sorry, window. I'm calling this a window. It's a wheel, scroll wheel. You know, so you could render it if you wanted it animated like this. So if I rotate, you can see it in this window. You can see, yeah, that's cool. You could animate it if you wanted, but it looks cool. Yeah. And if you don't want, this is just using the Eevee. Now you can, if you're finished with this, yeah, and you're happy with what you've got, no problem. I'm just going to just go a little bit further with this and switch to cycles and just use some gobo lights. So I'm going to switch this to the GPU. But yeah, if you did find anything useful, I mean, it's really simple. It's nothing complicated. I hope it is useful anyway. But yeah, so you can see now we're using cycles. If I had to do a horizontal split and choose asset browser, sorry if you can hear background noise, people are very loud today. I can like choose something like grid or something, get some fancy lights on these gobos. Let's just join area so we can get rid of that. We've already picked on, chose this one, move this up, and if I place it just above the wheel, there we go. Now we have some more interesting lighting going on. The strength on this I want to bring down. You could, there we go, just bring this strength down. Good. And increase that radius, so blur out the shadows a bit. There we go. Oh, if I press N, that will collapse that menu. Just give me more room to work. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, have a play. Hopefully this was some use. Like I said, and you don't have to use these colors. If you do, you can, like I said, you can change the materials. It doesn't but white. It could be, this could be black, gray. You know, but it's cool still. Um, green, blue, whatever you want. Experiment, try different things. Perhaps you want a UI HUD that's purple, green, blue. You know, it doesn't matter, to be honest. But yeah, mix and match. This material here could be completely different material. You know, I don't like that mustard color, but hey, um, there you go. Anyway, thank you again. Enjoy your evening, morning, night, or day. Um, have fun. If you can, hit that like, share, subscribe. Um, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day, weekend, wherever you are. Goodbye.